Yo, quick shout out to my members. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Bye. What's up, y'all? Today we're going to be working on another tier list. This tier list is going to be killer tier list only due to the fact that I do not want to talk about survivors currently until I come out with the Daybreak is broken video, because there's a lot of survivors to talk about and I just don't have the energy to be doing that right now. So we're going to work on something that is way easier for me to do, which is just the killer tier list. Now we're going to start from the bottom all the way to the top. All right, no letters. We're just gonna have bottom, low, mid, high, and broken tier. So we're gonna start at the bottom just because it's the easiest. Well, not the easiest, it's the hardest to talk about, honestly, to explain why people are worse than, you know, killers that are just good. So at the very bottom, we're gonna have, everyone knows, Banshee. Banshee currently is the worst killer in the game. Now, I remember when I said Apostate was the worst in the game. She has gotten better. All right. She is now able. She's not good in a sense, but it has gotten better due to the buffs. Even though I believe she would need a different sort of buff that would benefit her more, which is her. We're not going to speak about it right now, but Banshee. Active is bad. Her active is not that good. Her active is not that good when it comes to patrolling gens, because she apparently is a gen patroller, but she doesn't use her active to patrol gens. She uses her active, most killers use her active to, you know, try to, you know, end chases because of the speed boost. Now, the only certain times that it would be viable is that, like, if there's, you know, she is able to get close to more than 2 people when it comes to, you know, activating her ability, because she gets a small speed boost for every person in a 30 stud radius when she activates it. Meaning the best way she would be able to get value for her active perk is to be able to be as near as many people as possible. But even then, her lunge is not that good. It's a 1.5 lunge with 6 speed. Not good. Not good whatsoever. And her passive, don't even get me started with her passive. Her passive is really bad. Her passive doesn't last long. The mist is not really that. It's only, you know, it only adds pressure onto the survivors if they're not paying attention. But most of the time, the survivors are going to see you before you even get close to them. Well, you'll get close to them, but they'll have a reaction time. If they have a reaction time of a snail, though, then you'll get a free down. But most of the time, players are going to be able to see you and then react accordingly by just running away. And since your lunge is really bad, you won't be able to connect any hits while you have the mist. So that's why Banshee is by far the worst killer in the game. After Banshee, what is surprising, but it's actually going to be Showstopper. Now, Showstopper is terrible. Terrible. The way that they nerfed Showstopper was overkill. Oh, Showstopper now is, first off, you can only use her in an 8-player game. And you know how rare it is to get an 8-player game nowadays? Especially with the amount of people that DC during games and stuff, it's going to be extremely difficult for people to get an 8-player game to even make her viable. Now, they nerfed her lunge to 2 MS, which makes her base stats worse. She's still a 4 speed. Her stamina gain is only based on downs. So even then, her base chase is so bad due to the fact that they nerfed her mirror. Now, the mirror nerf is insane. They reduced the time on how long the mirror is there for, which is went from 10 seconds to 7.5 seconds. The mirror is there and gone in an instant. It is insanely bad now. And on top of that, to make things worse, the mirror now has a bit of a cooldown. So when it rises up, you have time to still vault. Including the fact that the noise is now louder, so you could probably react to her, like her placing her mirror. It's insane. It is truly insane how bad it is now, because first, people could react to her mirror. Her mirror doesn't last as long. Like, with everything, it takes away a lot of Showstopper's power. and like her early game is bad, her mid game is bad, and her late game is not good at all. It's all in all, bad killer. Don't play Showstopper. Do not play Showstopper. After that, I'm going to put, you may or may not know, I'm putting Ghost. Ghost currently is top 3 worst killers in the game. Reason why I say Ghost is top 3 worst killers is because everyone literally outperforms Ghost. Every other killer, literally every single other killer outperforms Ghost, which is kind of crazy, if I'm being honest. Now, I'm not saying Ghost is different. Banshee and Showstopper, trash, just trash. There's nothing you could do with them. All right, maybe Banshee, maybe Showstopper, maybe it comes down to certain things. Honestly, Showstopper currently, in my opinion, is the worst killer in the game. Actually, I'm switching it up. Showstopper is trash. Showstopper, garbage, unviable, trash, poop. Banshee's better than Showstopper. Ghost is better than Banshee. The reason why Ghost is not that good is because if you don't know how to silent phase, you're not gonna get downs easily. Ghost gets looped. She gets looped like crazy. She doesn't have any. The best thing she has is an XP farm. You know, you get downs. Her secondary. What the fuck was that? Secondary detect is good only for XP, honestly. She's pretty much an XP farm. All Ghost games get high XP due to the fact of her secondary detect. But her base stats are the best in the game. But yet she still gets looped. She still gets looped like crazy. It's insane. She gets looped by it. It's really hard to explain why, honestly. But Ghost just gets looped. That's her problem. And the only way she is good is if you are able to silent phase. But more and more people are able to, counter silent phasing. It's the counters are getting there, and she's getting worse and worse, in my opinion. So that's going to be it for the bottom tier. Now for the low tier. At the bottom of low tier, I'm going to have to put Possessed. Possessed is bottom tier. Now, I know what people were saying about her new passive buff. Oh, it's broken. Oh, it's this and that, blah, blah. In my opinion, after playing Possessed and seeing how Possessed was before and how Possessed is now, the reason why everyone was complaining about, me included, about the new passive buff that they gave to Possessed is because she outperforms Stalker with that passive. Her passive outperforms Stalker. It was not needed. The buff that she really does need to make her viable and probably high tier would be to remove her cooldown completely. Please do that. If there's anything that the devs take from this video, or anybody to forward a suggestion, please take away the cooldown on Possessed teleport. I promise you, it is not going to be broken. It is not going to be broken. It will make her really good. It will make her very good, but not broken. It won't be broken. Trust me. We'll get to it, but currently, as of right now, that cooldown when it comes to her teleport, it destroys her. It destroys her. And if she can't even win a chase, she's not going to be able to get her passive. Therefore, she's going to be at the bottom, a low tier. Next, after Possessed, is going to be, in my honest opinion, and this might be a hot take because I know a couple people talked about it, is going to be the Rat. It's going to be Experiment. Experiment is not good. In my honest opinion, Rat is not good. His base stats are not that good. His lunge seems crazy long though. Don't underestimate his lunge. His lunge is long. Very long. And it feels fast. But if you know what you're doing, it is not good. His base stats are not that good. And the problem with Rat is his active. They nerfed his active after he got out of PTS. Once they booted him from PTS all the way to the main game, he just lost all skill. He just all power when it comes to his active. His active in PTS, he was able to move while, he was able to move while unburrowing. That was good. The problem I don't know why they nerfed it, but the reason why they nerfed it is because they didn't see the counterplay. There was clear counterplay. Vaulting was the counterplay to rat. Meaning, if you see him burrowing, you could stand next to a vault. And since he was not able to, he has a cooldown on. He was a cooldown, passive cooldown. After unburrowing, the only thing you can do is move. You can only move. Now, that by itself is good. It is good, but it has counterplays. If PTS Rat was in this game, like in main game, he would be mid to high tier, in my opinion. Probably mid tier, but because he's not that strong. But now, when he's in main game, where he cannot move after he unburrows, and the reason why I say that he's not good based on his active, like his active is trash. The reason why I say this is due to the fact that he has two options. Most rat players, what they do is burrow to someone with a gen. They unburrow. Now they have two options. They can either kick the gen and then chase, or they can then chase. What rats need to do is start chasing after his active, because what they do is completely lose the amount of chase pressure you get. He immediately lose it if you go to a gen. But if you chase, and even then, if you try to chase, he's stuck in place. You see him coming, so it's able to start moving towards a vault. If he unburrows, you literally have so much time to get to a freaking vault and then begin chase. Now people were like, oh, but vaults, survivors vault slower. It doesn't really matter that much, if I'm being completely honest. It doesn't matter. Survivors vaults are instant. It's fast. All right, very fast. Maybe you could catch up, maybe, but most of the time you're not gonna gain your active. You're not gonna gain any advantage while using your active unless you catch someone in the middle of nowhere. Then you'll be able to get him because they literally have nowhere to go. But when you're in a map where there's a bunch of vaults everywhere and the rat pulls up, you go to a vault and he's literally you just start chase, and his chase is not that good. His base chase is not that good. His passive, I'm not gonna really talk about his passive because it's not really that it's not that crazy. If I'm being honest, it's not that crazy. It's just a little gen poke. It just forces you to miss gen. It doesn't really do much, honestly. And on top of that, he gets shit on by stunners. Stunners shit on rat. The rat cannot do anything about stunners. He gets destroyed. Anyways, next. This might be a hot take as well. I'm gonna place boss. Now, I think boss is better than the rat. I honestly think the boss is better than the rat. The boss is better than everything below. Why? His brass knuckles are good. Like, and people say, oh, he's not that good. Brass knuckles carries. But, when it comes to chasing gen rushers and you switch, crowbar has its uses now, honestly. And his base stats is pretty decent, if I'm being completely honest. It's very decent. It's not for people to overlook boss, all right? Nobody plays boss. I'm gonna be honest, nobody plays boss. But boss by itself is just decent. He's not good. He's not that bad, but he's just low decent tier. He's just all right. He's better than everybody below him. I will say that because he has options. He has, if possible, he has good snowball potential because of brass knuckles. He has good anti-gen because of crowbar, and usually you're gonna use your crowbar on gen rushers. So therefore, he has purpose when because a lot of people say, oh, crowbar is trash. it has its uses, and its uses are decent. All right, it's not that good, it's not that crazy. His passive is just whatever. All right, but he's better than everybody below. Next, I'm going to put Stalker. Stalker, I feel, got shadow buffed. It's my opinion. Some people may think it as well, but I have a feeling that they shadow buffed Stalker to 6.5 speed. I could be wrong. I could be trash. But go to a game and use Stalker, or go against a Stalker. You're gonna, for some reason, Stalker feels much faster than usual. I don't know if it's just me, but Stalker feels so much faster than usual. Please test it for yourself. Please test it to see if it's true or not, but I feel like Stalker got shadow buffed. On top of that, her stock is still not the best. It's still not the best, but it has its uses, all right? And with her supposed shadow buff, she is way faster than I feel that the game says she is. It's my opinion, all right? This tier list is my opinion, even though most of it definitive fact. But when it comes to Stalker, I feel like she got shadow buff to a 6.5 speed. I could be wrong, but it just feels that way, meaning she's much better. If it's true and that if I am such a big brain that I called out their shadow buff, and she's currently 6.5 speed, she's pretty good. She's, well, not in the sense of like everybody else, you know, she's still low tier, but as of currently, she's still better than everyone else. The reason why I put her this high is because I just really feel like they shadow buffed her. I really feel like that. That's gonna be all for low tier. All right, there's not really much for me to add more. I'll be off for low tier. Now, for mid tier, there's gonna be a lot of mid tiers. Now, when I come to the worst, when I try to honestly look at the worst mid tiers, there's one, and this might be surprising. There's just one that comes to mind. It's Principal. Principal is the middest of the mid tier. Now, people used to be like, yo, Principal was good. You know, a lot of people advocated for Principal being really good. But as the game goes on, one, nobody really plays Principal. Two, he got his ruler nerfed. His nerfed ruler does not have that much, you know, pressure on Chase as it was before. You know, on bigger maps, he will be good. In bigger maps, he will be good, you know. But when it comes to in general, Principal still gets looped, even when he has his ruler out. And there's many times where you could bait ruler. Honestly, you could bait ruler a lot of time. It happens a lot where, like, you know, you pull some mind game. Ruler gets baited out a lot. You know, a strong Principal is gonna do very good, but like the average Principal is not gonna do that good, which I have to give him mid tier. After that, I will have to put Polluted. Polluted is mid tier. His oil is very sort of honestly map based. He does well in Shifty Station because he's able to cut off like whole sections. It just depends on the map and stuff like that. His passive is alright. His, like, if he gets oil on you, if you get hit by oil, you're most likely going to die because he basically has like the best lunge. I mean, the best vaulting against your like nerfed vaulting. He's decent. He is kind of map dependent on certain cases. But honestly, as of right now, he's just mid tier. He's very much mid tier. After Polluted, I will have to give Void Skulk the spot. Void Skulk is straight mid. Her buff helped her. She needed the buff. People still, for some reason, complain about the 25 being too much. But let's be honest, she did not change at all. Did not change her power scaling. Did not change much. You know. She's all right. If she gets, you know, if you get infected, she's gonna have to tunnel you, but it's easy to avoid infected. I know people debated on and on about how easy it was to avoid, you know, her, just her infection. But if you play against a Void Skulk, you're gonna see that it's very easy. it's very easy to avoid her, infection. Everything about her is just mid, straight mid. That's why I just put it there. Oh, I forgot about apostate. Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna put her at the top of bottom. I completely forgot about apostate. I know some of y'all were like, yo, you missed apostate. She's at the bottom, blah, blah, blah. Some of you were hopeful that I would put her higher. No, sorry. She's better than Ghost though. Shall I say she is better than Ghost? It could be interchangeable. It could be, but her passive is way better. So I would give her the top of bottom tier. I'm just say as janitor. Janitor is decently good. I will say that. Janitor is decently good. He gets shredded by, stunners. There is counterplays to Janitor. Janitor by itself is not that good. But Janitor would be broken if everyone played him how they used to play him, which was just snowball. Just literally down and camp. Camping Janitors are broken. But when it comes to regular Janitors, he's mid-tier. It's not that good. People are better. They have better options. His base stats are okay. It's not that good. It's okay. Better than... Then I'm going to give the next spot... Why am I moving that? It's a Werewolf. Werewolf is better than everyone below him. They buffed him a lot. They gave him double slowing on detect and his active for some reason. I don't know why, but they just gave it to him. So it makes him even better. Double the slow. He has higher chase pressure. It is crazy, but he's still not. He's mid. He's mid. He's still doing good, but he's still kind of mid in my opinion. Now, next after Werewolf, I will have to put Unforgotten. The reason why Unforgotten is better than Werewolf because a lot of people underestimate Unforgotten. People underestimate her slow. Against the good Unforgottens, people are going to get caught off guard. A lot of people do that. Same with the next killer. Surgeon. I would say Surgeon is better than Unforgotten because, after time, Surgeon just becomes crazy broken. But, honestly, both of these killers are very much rising up in usage and in effectiveness because a lot of people just don't go against them and they underestimate their speed, their lunge, their entire kit. These two killers get underestimated crazily, and I will not be surprised if later on they become way stronger than how they are now or how they used to be. Which is true because back then nobody played Surgeon because Surgeon was really bad. Now people are messing with Surgeon. He's growing, he's gaining higher and higher. He's getting there. All right, and that's gonna be all for mid tier. Now at the bottom of high tier, we are going to put Star Eater. Star Eater currently is very good, balanced. They buffed him up, I would say a wee bit, a lot when it comes to the stud radius, but honestly, as of right now, he's perfectly fine. He has clear strengths, clear weaknesses. He is by far one of the most balanced killers in the game, and he is good. There's no problem with Star Eater. All right, if you get caught by Star Eater, it's mostly on your fault because I got caught by Star Eater and I was just dumb. Anyways, but honestly, there's nothing to talk about Star Eater. Star Eater is just good. And Star Eater is what Possessed wish they can be, but too bad for Possessed. She is low tier. Now, after Star Eater, I will have to put Host. The reason why I put Host higher than Star Eater is because her base stats are better. She is a 6 speed killer with basically a 3 MS. And her passive, while being less, well, it's really weird. Honestly, the reason why I put Star Eater lower than Host is because, one, Host can place more traps, she has lesser cooldown, and she has better chase. She has very good, people underestimate her chase. Her chase is very good. Very good. So don't underestimate chase when it comes to a Host, and she can lock down things sort of better than Star Eater due to the fact that she can be able to place more. She's able to place more, and her passive, I would say, is better because, well, it's kind of, it could go either way, honestly, but all in all, I will have to give it to Host. Honestly, Android. Currently, Android and Watcher are very close in power. Very close in power. They're both very good. Very good. Best of the best when it comes to gen patrolling, gen locking, whatever the case may be. they're very interchangeable. Reason why I'm giving it more to Watcher is because when in use, his abilities are better. His chase is better, even though it's a very small difference, but the 2 ms is way better than the 1.75 ms that, you know, Android has. You know, people could advocate for Android being better due to his passives. His passives are sort of better, but when in use, honestly, most of the time, we have to give it to Watcher. Watcher has way better gen pressure and everything like that. So very top, tippity top of high tier would be Slasher and Warden. Now people this is a big debate, and I'm gonna give you my take. Warden is better than Slasher. In my honest opinion, Warden is better than Slasher. There's many reasons. One, when it comes to base chase, Warden, in my opinion, is better. The people, you know, could debate, oh, he has the 3 ms, but, you know, Warden has better speed, blah, blah, blah. It goes back and forth. The reason why I give Warden the upper hand on, you know, Slasher is because, one, there's 2 reasons. One, Warden's passive is better than Slasher's. Slasher's is very much forgotten. People don't even think that Slasher even has a passive, but he does. But it's very niche. It's an passive. When it comes to Warden's passive, he's very good because he has counters to a lot of survivors, mainly 2 hits and undetectables, because the trail is good due to the fact that getting off a gen leaves the trail. If it was just undetect, he wouldn't be as good, but it leaves trail when you get off a gen, which makes it so much more better. And that trail is bright. That trail can be seen across the map. You will be spotted with the trail. The trail is decently long, honestly. So, and like when it comes to pressure, Warden's orb, honestly, sometimes, you know, Slasher can snipe. Slasher has crazy pressure when it comes to, you know, people not wanting to be sniped. But without their abilities, I will have without their actives, plus Warden gets more benefits off of missing because of the AoE. If you miss the Warden, you know, if you miss active Warden's active, you still have AoE, you know. You'll still probably most likely get the down depending, but he gets more benefit off of missing his active than Slasher does. Slasher active, if you miss, you're gonna have to do base chase, and that's just you're just hoping your 3 ms lunge hits, honestly. But yeah, it is a lot of debate, but in my opinion, Warden takes the cake. Now that is the rest of high tier. Now everyone knows what's gonna be a broken tier. Empress and Idol, with Idol being better because everyone knows Idol is broken. There's literally nothing to talk about if that has already been said, and everything I'm gonna say is gonna be going into the Daybreak is broken video. But as of right now, just everyone knows Idol is broken. Everyone knows Idol is broken, but they won't nerf him. I don't know why, but broken. And on top of that, Empress is broken as well because they did not do anything to nerf her dash. Her dash is still crazy good. Her base chase is very good. Her hitbox is very big. Her passive is very good, very clutch worthy. It helps a lot more than people think. It helps a lot, you know, when it comes to gens. It's crazy. Empress is broken. And that is it. Here it is, the official Daybreak killer tier list made by yours truly. If this video gets 150 likes, I'll make it, 200 likes. If this video gets 200 likes, I'll make a Survivor tier list. Alright. But other than that, that is it. Let me just turn this music off. Hopefully y'all didn't hear any ads because I don't have my headphones on. But if you guys did enjoy this tier list, please leave it. If you got any questions, please leave it in the comments below. I'll answer any questions you may have when it comes to specific things. I know people are gonna bitch. A lot of people are gonna bitch because they always bitch, and that's why I always like just very debating on whether I should do it or not. But I did it anyways. Here you go. You're welcome. The best Daybreak player makes the best killer tier list. No, 200 likes, make a survivor tier list. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video or stream, whatever I do. Take care.